The organisation in Thales in the UK is predominantly a defence company. So within the UK, I work in one of the 6 sectors that are in the business, and we focus on land and air systems. So the programme itself was to develop a software application which would be used to manage all of the transport for the UK RAF, so the Royal Air Force. The actual system itself is a very complicated version of what happens when you and I travel on holiday. So if you think of the end-to-end process of, first of all, purchasing your airline ticket, which for you and I is relatively straightforward by going to the internet and just buying a ticket online. For an army person, that is a completely different thing, because it's normally done in a group. So there would be a group P&R created of maybe 100 army guys who are all flying out to Afghanistan or to other places. The army guy turns up at the airport. He's got a couple of bags, he's probably got a gun on him, and he's probably parked his tank in the car park. And all that needs to be catered for. So if you can imagine a Hercules aeroplane that has just seats down the side of it and a big open cargo bay, they've got to work out where to put the tank on there, where to seat the people, so that when the plane takes off, it doesn't smash or crack in takeoff. And then you've got the whole reverse side on the other end. So as it lands, you've then got to take the equipment off of the aircraft, remove the people from the aircraft, all the baggage. It was a very old technology. It used green screen terminals, and it was very much character-based. The operators, when they would enter the information, in one character string would be describing the person, the weight, dietary requirements. All of that information would be translated into one single line. And it would be a character string of up to 300 characters. And any character being wrong in that result in a false booking or a rejection of it. And they would have to then go through that process again. So all of that end-to-end process, right from the moment of acquiring a ticket or a seat on the plane to actually arriving at the other end, the application covered that entire piece. The application was replacing something that the RAF had across about 3 different systems, so they didn't have an integrated solution. Complexity on a scale of 1 to 10, this was probably a good 9.5. There were a number of elements in that complexity. The first was to understand the true requirements of the customer, because this was going to turn out to be an application which had several million lines of code in it. The whole idea of the AMO application, as it was called, was really to take that whole thing forward in a level where you could have an intuitive system that anyone could operate with a very minimal amount of training. So we were taking training time down, or projected to take it down from 6 to 9 months down to probably 2 weeks. And in some cases, some basic operators would only need 2 or 3 days training to actually be able to operate the system. The capability of the people is probably one of the most outstanding things that I see within Mastek. What you see demonstrated day to day by their enthusiasm, their length of day that they spend working on activities. You throw problems at them and they seem to relish in it. It's like, great, here's a problem, bring it on, let's have a go at doing this. And I saw that demonstrated throughout the whole life of the project that we were doing with them. Everybody, no matter what role they do, is incredibly motivated, incredibly skilled, and able to interact with, let's face it, their second language, to work with the UK and actually understand detail around specifications and all sorts of topics that they weren't even strongly familiar with. Not many people have a degree in writing aircraft software, so it's very specific really. But what really it is all about is a relationship. My relationship with Mastek, I don't think it can get any stronger than it is. You've got to really integrate the team and become one, and I think we got pretty close to it. Throughout the whole cycle of the application development, it was being seen as such a powerful application that when, through all of the reviews, customer was thinking, wouldn't it be good if, or while we're doing this, why don't we do this at the same time? And I think that's great from a point of view of us receiving additional funding and additional requirements, but it did stretch the programme. What was going to be a 2-year programme became a 4-year programme. And unfortunately, due to the climate in the UK with the Ministry of Defence making their cutbacks, the programme was actually cancelled at the end of the development activity. So all of the hard work that went in and all the celebrate of the success of the application being finished, it actually isn't in use with the RAF.